Hi, you've been talking a lot about process today, and I'm curious how yours changes when you're doing works collaboratively with other artists.
Well, it does mean I have to write the plot. I mean, that's you know, writing for myself, I don't have to type it all out. Every artist I work with is different. So there are certain guys, Duncan Fegredo, everything he draws is very active. So I'm constantly have to write in things like, Hellboy's excited, but not so excited that sparks are flying out of his head, you know? And Richard Corbin is an entirely different kind of animal, you know? There's certain guys, you tailor certain stories to certain guys' strengths. Crooked Man I wouldn't have written for any other artist, but nobody's better at drawing twigs and old rotting houses than Richard Corbin. So, yeah, it's a lot of typing and playing to different guys' strengths.
What were the 2 original names that you came up with?
I know one. I just put in one for padding. The Bog Rouge. I guess the Agju Jihad is original, though I based that on an Egyptian thing. There was an Egyptian thing. I stumbled across an Egyptian mythology about I have no idea how to pronounce it, Agduad or some kind of thing, and it was 8 primal beings that came up out of the slime, like with frog heads, and I went, ooh. Nobody's using these guys? And so I changed the number of them to 7 so that it also had a resonance with like the Catholic, you know, 7-headed dragon. So there was a lot of stuff I did like that at the beginning of Hellboy. I kind of looked around at a lot of different mythologies and found things that were common or almost common to different mythologies. And I said, well, I'm gonna play around where this stuff almost meets up. Bog Rouge, I just liked. It was just one of those names that pops into your head. This stuff, when it comes to names, either they pop into my head, or I spend 16 weeks beating my head against the wall trying to come up with them. Recently, in one of the short stories I did, one of the short stories that's in the Screw on Head book uses one character from The Amazing Screw on Head, Dr. Snap. All the names in Screw on Head just came off the top of my head. But I had this, you know, there's a story about how Dr. Snap murdered Dr. And it was 3 months of no name for this guy. Dr. Kaleidoscope almost made it in there. That I just needed something that would just sound right and had no logic to it. Most of the names of actual humans, I just go to my bookcase and I go, well, let's see, he's an Irish guy, so I pick up, you know, the collected, you know, Irish ghost stories, and I look through the names of Irish writers. There are a lot of writers end up with their names in Hellboy. But yeah, there's another fantasy character I made up the name of, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. But the Bog Rouge, I just like the sound of it.
Hey, Mike.
Hello.
Oh. I got 3 questions. Guillermo del Toro optioned a lot for Bruce Campbell to play as Lobster Johnson in the movie, video game, and in the cartoon.
Right.
That's cool. And second, when are the
That's a
school...
question. It is cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I met Bruce. I wasn't sure if he knew about that, but I said, yeah, that's cool.
Okay. When are the Screw-on-Head toys ever going to be made, or like?
Well, Screw-on-Head is a complex deal because a lot of the merchandise rights were tied up with the cartoon. So as long as the cartoon rights are with somebody else, the merchandise rights are with them. So until that stuff reverts back into my hands, I have no control over doing like a toy. I would love an Amazing Screw-on-Head toy. Amazing Screw-on-Head started out as my idea for a toy. It just turned into this silly comic. And
Yep.
number 3?
And does Hellboy get horny, or does he just get a little stump?
Wow, thanks for ending the panel. That's a question for Del Toro. Del Toro loves questions like that.
Everybody, shall we thank Mr. Mignola?